Em fevereiro de 2001, os computadores da NASA foram invadidos por um expert em informações tecnológicas, e o que deveria ser arquivos de informações totalmente sigilosos, acabou sendo violados, e mais tarde revelados ao público em um programa americano de entrevistas chamado Rick Planet TV. Além de ter conseguido acesso a inúmeras informações sobre um programa secreto sobre OVNIs, o hacker teve acesso ao real formato da Terra. Este é Gary Mackinnon, o único hacker que em toda a história da NASA conseguiu ter acesso aos arquivos secretos que se mantinham escondidos aos olhos do público. Veja o que ele revelou especificamente sobre o real formato da Terra, em um trecho de sua entrevista a um programa americano.
Question. So you mentioned Donna Hare before, whose colleague was involved in airbrushing UFOs out of NASA images, and this allegedly took place in Building 8 at the Johnson Space Center.
That's right.
Right.
Yep.
So you accessed computer systems there. Tell me what you found.
Because Donna Hare had said it was Building 8. When you're in the command line interface and you type in netstat, Windows has a function where when you list all the machines on the network, there's a comment field, and NASA had used the comment field for standard computer audit information that said this isn't building blah, that this is the serial number, etc., etc. So finding Building 8 was surprisingly easy, And so then I scanned that subnet, so I think it was only 255 machines on the subnet for Building 8. And there they were, all these machines with blank administrator passwords. It was as if when they'd built the network, they'd used an image and blatted out the image to every machine, because every single machine had a blank administrator password. An administrator gives you full control, so it was ridiculous. In Building 8 of Johnson Space Center, I found out there were folders called raw and filtered, or processed and unprocessed, and these files were like 200 odd megabytes, 250 megabytes. They were in a proprietary NASA format, and this is in the days of 56k dial-up, so you couldn't download them in like 5 minutes. And I wanted to get on there, find out what I could, and get out quickly. And so I had remote control of the desktop using a program called Remotely Anywhere. And so if you double-clicked on an image, their proprietary software came up, and the image was there. But it wasn't there like that because it's a slow connection. I turned it down to I think 2-bit or 4-bit color. I can't remember if it was monochrome or just 4-bit color. And it started, juddering down the screen. I think Remotely Anywhere was a Java app at the time. And I only got to see about half or 2/3 of it or something. But it was a hemisphere of a planet, which I assume was Earth, because it was blue and it was cloudy. And but it was a classic cigar shape with no seams, no rivets, no sort of workmanship on the outside. But it did have one sort of human-looking thing, which was the sort of geodesic domes that you see at Men with Hell. Above and below, to the left and the right, and one on its nose, and I assume, one on this side, and I assume one on the other side as well. So I mean, some people say that could have been man-made because of that geodesic dome feature. But the fact of it all flowed in. There was no, there's the tube, and there's a socket for the dome. It was all a flowing, but that's when I saw someone else, the mouse moved, right-clicked on the LAN icon, disconnect, and boom, I was gone.
When you saw that particular image, did that then lead to your arrest?
Yeah, because when they disconnected me, they obviously got my IP address, because I was doing a direct connection, foolishly, at that time, because I was getting lazy or cavalier. And it was NASA that contacted BT and about the IP address. Then you get the client's address through the police, UK police. So that's what got me caught.
Tom Bradbury from ITV.
And could I just ask you both as a sidebar, this time last year we talked about the case of computer hacker Gary Mackinnon, on which the Prime Minister has expressed very clear views. You said you would work together to find a solution, so have you found one?
Well, on your second question, Mr. Mackinnon, we have proceeded through all the processes required under our extradition agreements. It is now in the hands of the British legal system. We have confidence in the British legal system coming to a just conclusion, and so we await resolution and will be respectful of that process.
First of all, in the case of Gary Mackinnon, I mean, I understand the widespread concern about this case, and it's not so much about the alleged offence, which everyone knows is a very serious offence. It's about the issue of the individual and the way they're treated and the operation of the legal system, and as the President said, making sure that legal system operates properly and carefully. The case is currently in front of the Home Secretary, who has to consider the reports about Gary's health and his well-being, and it's right that she does that in a proper and effectively quasi-judicial way. I totally understand the anguish of his mother and his family about this issue. We must follow the proper processes and make sure this case is dealt with in the proper way, and I'm sure that that is the case.
Após sua prisão em 2002, Mackinnon foi sujeitado a uma longa e decisiva batalha jurídica a respeito de sua extradição para os Estados Unidos, onde os promotores queriam que ele fosse a julgamento pelo acesso aos dados. Se tivesse sido julgado culpado, ele provavelmente seria condenado a 60 anos de prisão. Porém, em 2012, Theresa May, a secretária para Assuntos Nacionais do Reino Unido, disse que ele não seria enviado para os Estados Unidos, justificando sua decisão com base nos direitos humanos garantidos pela Constituição. A última coisa que Mackinnon viu antes de ser detectado foi o formato da Terra, como foi descrito por ele, e esta possui um domo geodésico, exatamente como nós descrevemos o real formato da Terra.
So, I mean, some people say that could have been man-made because of that geodesic dome feature. But the fact of it all flowed in. There was no, there's the tube, there's a socket for the dome. You know, it was all a flowing, you know.
Domo geodésico é uma estrutura em forma de meia esfera composta por uma rede de triângulos, onde os triângulos criam uma estrutura tridimensional, que é capaz de distribuir o peso de maneira otimizada, seguindo os padrões da natureza. São frequentemente usados pela engenharia avançada, devido à sua excelente resistência às condições meteorológicas mais extremas. Graças à sua forma aerodinâmica e à alta qualidade dos materiais. O domo é capaz de suportar imensas cargas em sua parte superior, dispensando o uso de colunas ou cimentos. Geralmente são construídos usando-se materiais translúcidos. Em resumo, estas estruturas representam uma solução eficaz para diferentes áreas, tanto em construções, como em habitações. Não foi à toa que o nosso Criador foi o primeiro a fazer uso dessa tecnologia, nos protegendo de qualquer eventual ameaça externa. Certamente Mackinnon, ao ver essa estrutura nos arquivos secretos da NASA, não entendeu exatamente do que se tratava, mas seu senso comum o alertou instantaneamente que o que ele estava presenciando era o verdadeiro formato da nossa Terra. Fruto da maior engenharia que já existiu em todos os tempos, onde tudo funciona perfeitamente de acordo com o que foi estabelecido. Tudo em perfeita harmonia, um plano magnífico capaz de estabelecer as horas, os dias, as semanas, os meses e os anos, respeitando todas as leis cronológicas, fazendo a separação exata entre o tempo e o espaço. Um sistema 100% autossustentável, capaz de suprir todas as necessidades de seus habitantes. Um mecanismo capaz de respeitar as leis de seu Criador, com a mais perfeita precisão. Onde a própria rotação de seu domo gera sua própria energia, em perfeito equilíbrio, compensando a sua vibração com a frequência exata, gerando toda a eletricidade de acordo com a sua necessidade. Essa é a nossa Terra. Uma Terra que conhece e entende seu objetivo. Não uma Terra que se encontra totalmente perdida no espaço, girando sem rumo, e que não sabe sequer onde vai chegar. Se você não acredita na Terra plana, é porque ainda não entendeu como ela funciona. E se você acredita que a Terra é uma imensa bola giratória, você entendeu menos ainda como ela funciona. Totalmente sem o menor sentido. Todos os experimentos da Terra plana são absolutamente mensuráveis. Diferentemente da bola giratória. Pesquise e veja até onde vai a toca do coelho. Vamos ver agora o que Gary pensa a respeito do pouso do homem à Lua.
So just to stay on this sidetrack, what are your feelings on the Apollo missions? Do you buy into the we never went to the moon, or do you have a strong position, or are you open-minded? What's your?
I think when you think about things like the Van Allen belts and the radiation, and the film and the cameras, the battery on the module, there's a lot of solid scientific reasons why it was impossible with the technology back then.
Right. All right. Well,
even the computer power back then makes me slightly suspect.
Right. All right. Well, you've answered that.
Gratidão por assistirem. E até o próximo vídeo.